Iran is a World War III, is a catastrophe, and is Mike Cernovich freaking out? And we're back. Mike Cernovich, Cernovich.com, CERNOVICH.com. The Iranians, the regime, apparently struck a base where U.S. soldiers are at in Iraq. Everybody wants to say they know what's going on, but the truth is this. The truth is boring. There are all these Iranian propaganda outlets, and they are using old photos. So literally, the Iranian propaganda outlets don't even know how many missiles were fired. People are saying there were dozens, there were tens of them, there were all this, but the propaganda outlets don't even have the pictures yet. And in their articles, they're using old stock footage from 2017 to show what the missiles are. So they don't know. So if the Iranian propaganda outlets don't even know how many missiles there were, and they don't even have good footage, they don't even have good pictures yet, then how is anybody in the U.S. going to know? Although a lot of things funny are happening today, a bunch of Pentagon people got sent home. It was a snow day. Yeah, Will Chamberlain saying this. Scott Adams is. A lot of people are objecting, because a lot of people are saying this, that it is a fake airstrike. Now, here's what I mean for all the fake news media outlets who read me and follow me. They'll go, Cernovich claimed missiles weren't fired. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's theatrics. It's fake in the same way that pro wrestling is fake. In pro wrestling, if you get picked up and body slammed, that hurts, but it's scripted. Kayfabe. That's what this was. I've been hearing conflicting reports on the type of missiles used. Let's just say it wasn't the most sophisticated weaponry being used. We don't have the good footage. They're just kind of firing things. Remember Trump did the Syria bombing, and it turns out we told everybody, hey, get out of that area. We're just gonna bomb a bunch of stuff. That's what's happening here, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why all this is happening here and kind of what's going on. There's all kinds of issues at play. One is that Trump, they showed. So let me take a step back before I explain it, because a lot of people have said, Mike, you were opposed to the Syria airstrike 1, you're opposed to Syria airstrike 2, and now you seem to be okay with killing Soleimani. Why? What's the change, bro? You hypocrite. The answer is this. Everyone within the D.C. Beltway establishment, including Democrats, the liberal media, they wanted Trump to go to war to take out Assad. They wanted the war. So I knew that if things went too far too fast, then the media would have their great war. There was also ground troops planned by McMaster. McMaster kept butting heads with Trump and other people because he wanted ground troops there. If you were around during that time, you remember I reported all this stuff out. And you remember this. Nobody in the D.C. Beltway establishment wants war with Iran, which there's a reason for that. Here's a little question. Since when did our media ever oppose a war? Right? When did our media ever oppose a war? Suddenly, oh God, I can't believe it. We're killing this guy. He's actually a general. I don't know if you saw that New York Times report where he's a poet. This New York Times reporter was posting love poetry. You can't make this up. Well, whoever's writing the simulation is making it up. But a New York Times reporter posted love poems where Soleimani saying, in Farsi, oh, I love you. A friend of mine died. I'm mourning the great loss. I just have love in my heart. And then she goes, I'm just reporting it. I'm not a propagandist. Sure thing. And then you read her whole timeline as propaganda. So there's a lot of things at play. One is Qatar and Iran are allied. And as Qatar, as we know, has spent a lot of money, and Iran has spent a lot of money too. So there's, the D.C. establishment's taking that money. Now, the Qatar angle comes into play because there's a little something that I don't care about, most of you don't care about, but a billion people care about, and that's the World Cup. And you can laugh all you want about the World Cup. In life, a lot of times you learn something and you stop laughing. So for me, we're kind of myopia, right? To me, I'm like, the World Cup, who cares? Qatar, they bribed the heck out of everybody. People are actually going to prison because Qatar wanted this World Cup so badly that they bribed everyone. This is a really big deal. Iran goes, we're going to bomb Dubai. Dubai is a safe zone. This is something that can't be overstated. When you think about the Middle East, you don't think about Dubai, at least if you're a Westerner, right? If you're a Westerner, you're like, we can go to Dubai, just don't bring marijuana. Don't, disrespect the people. You'll be fine. If Dubai gets bombed, then that's a signal that there is no safe zone in the Middle East. There is no desert oasis. Qatar and Doha, they're trying to be this desert oasis. That's why they're having all these forums. Oh, come to Doha Forum, bring all your people. They're building up an entire city for the World Cup. Air conditioning, stuff that you can't imagine. If Dubai gets bombed, FISA's going to say, because FISA's under a lot of pressure, FISA's under a ton of pressure to pull the World Cup from. So is the World Cup going to save us from World War III? Right? What a weird time we live in. What a strange question to ask. But I like to examine the strange questions. Is the World Cup going to save us from World War III? Well, Qatar is a very powerful ally of Iran. And if Iran really does strike Dubai, then FISA will have his excuse to pull the World Cup from Qatar. They'll say, look, everything's too unstable. We can't allow it. It's actually a big deal. People, you don't want to discount stuff like this. It's just one of those little issues that can mean a whole lot. In other words, there's a lot of swirl. As my friend, as my friend Jeff Giese likes to say, there's a lot of swirl around this area. And by that, it means you don't really know. It's just sort of, nobody really knows yet. But a point that I had made, and it wasn't original to me, it was actually sent to me by, somebody who, just a person, we'll say a real person. And by killing Soleimani, the way that they changed the table is that they now know that the regime members aren't safe. It isn't going to be just, regular soldiers and the army going to be hit. It's actually the world leaders that are going to be hit. And that's a really big concern. Now, finally, FIFA, just your dumb corrections. What I say, FISA. Sorry, I've been thinking about FISA lately. If you know it's FIFA, don't correct me. You know what it is. Anybody with any understanding and context of soccer, let me just help you live a better life, right? You know what I meant. Correcting somebody you know what they mean is actually just annoying, and you probably do this in real life, and you think it makes you look smart, but it just annoys people, right? It's like, well, for example, I tweeted out Nancy Pelosi's second in line for president. People are, she's third in line. No, she's not, because Trump's not in line. She's third. She'd be third in the chain of command, the chain of succession, but she's second in line because Pence is first in line. You're annoying. And in real life, when you do this, actually, all you're going to do is annoy the people around you. You're not actually adding value to the conversation. Life tip. I'm full, got a lot of stuff for you. Life. We always go into life too. So that's the Iran thing. So that's a very, very kind of long way of saying that not even Iranian propaganda outlets know. I'm not freaking out. People always go, oh, you're freaking out. I love this. People project their own emotions onto me. Because I tweeted out, Trump does the ground war in Iran. His base is gone. He loses 2020. Oh, he won't. And they're like, oh, Cernovich is panicking again. I'm like, what kind of losers are some of you people? That's what I wonder is, like, how do you find me and want? You're just a loser. What kind of loser, freaks out, panics? Oh, you're panicking. No, I'm actually tweeting while drinking a delicious cold brew coffee, nitro cold brew, right? What kind of loser would be panicking as they're typing things on the internet? And what kind of loser would think that that's what a person at my level would be doing? Where do some of you people come from? More importantly, how do I get rid of you? That's a better question is, where do you come from? That's your origin story. I don't really care about. But how can I get rid of people who every time I tweet something that's counter their precious little narrative, then suddenly, oh my God, you're panicking. Do you know what panic looks like? Have you ever been, panic is, you ever been in a really actual fight or flight situation, life or death? Panic is, da-thum, 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 da-thum. You can hear your pulse in your head. So I'm just sitting here minding my own business, tweeting up a storm, typing, doing my thing. People are like, you're panicking. You must be a loser because you've never done anything really stressful to know what actual panic looks like. Panic is boom, 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 boom. You have cotton mouth, pulsate. You can feel the blood pulsating in your head. That's what panic is. And if you get panicking like that from reading one of my tweets, don't read them anymore. Right? It's just so annoying. So annoying. So if your definition of freaking out means I'm really annoyed that dumb people, I read my replies, right? So if your definition of freaking out is that I get really annoyed when I read stupidity in my timeline, then you're right. Because I read your replies. I like to keep my finger on the pulse. I've never been one of these influencers who just ignores people. I reply to people all day. You see me. If you're on Twitter, I reply to people all day. And if you're on long enough, I'll get to your stuff too. I get tens of thousands of stuff a day. And a corollary of that is you need to write good things to me because I read you. Just as I expect you, if you follow me, to get the best news, information, content curation in the world by following me, you need to think, am I leaving a good comment? Is what I'm saying contributing to the dialogue? Is it contributing to the discussion? Is it moving the discussion forward? Or am I just talking like a moron because my friends are all morons? You know what I'm saying? So you need to check yourself too, because I check myself. What I do is a major obligation, and the same thing too is when you comment, it's an obligation for you to make the world a better place. You need to say, yeah, a lot of people are probably going to read Cernovich's replies. I want the people who read these replies, including Cernovich himself, to get something out of this, to really come away from this thinking, that was a provocative point. I hadn't quite thought of it. Rather than just repeating like you're not even a human being, like you're just some kind of bot. 50 comments, coward, freaking out, panicking, just let the terrorists win. It's like you're running, it's like you're running a script. I call them war bots, right? So the people who reply to me, a lot of them are bots. They're deep state bots sent to manipulate the narrative. But then there's a lot of people who are humans, and they're just like, coward, you support terrorism, I love the troops. Send them a care package. Buy a book by a soldier. A lot of veterans written books. When's the last time you bought a book by a veteran? Right? A lot of people. Are you drinking Black Rifle coffee at least? If you're not drinking Black Rifle coffee, no, I'm not affiliated. If you're not drinking Black Rifle coffee, which is veteran-owned, don't tell me how much you love I love the troops. I support the troops. Oh, but you're not buying Black Rifle coffee. You're not reading books by military authors. You're not donating to veteran charities. But, oh, you support the troops so much. And anybody else who doesn't want people to get involved in wars that only benefit a few really rich people, I'm the problem, right? No. So you support the troops. Better show me your Black Rifle coffee, which, by the way, I don't drink. But I also don't go around saying, oh, I just support the troops. That's why I support a ground war in Iran, even though the troops don't want a ground war in Iran. So you want to support them? Go support them. There's a lot of books. I like to read books by veterans, and I've Breakfast with the Dirt Cult. Go read Breakfast with the Dirt Cult. It's a $4 or $5 ebook. Go buy it. Veteran wrote it. Infantry veteran too. If you want to support the troops, do it. But just go, I support the troops. You like Iran, you're afraid, you're panicking. You're not actually communicating like a human. You're communicating like someone who had a little chip put into your brain, if you want to call it a brain. You just had a little thing put in your mind, and then all you're doing is operating. It's like I push your button and all this code appears in your mind, and then you regurgitate that onto the screen. That's what you should do, right? Go support the troops that way. All right, I'm going to read your comments now. $1 million question. What do you think will happen next, and what should happen next? Well, we don't know, because the airstrike was kayfabe. The, quote-unquote missile attack. The missile attack was not nuclear. It wasn't ballistic missiles in the way that we think of them. It was just some kayfabe thing for propaganda. So, but they don't even have the pictures, right? So it's propaganda, but the Iranian media outlets don't even have their propaganda. So the answer is, does Trump do another fake airstrike? Well, you airstruck us, and then now, we're going to send 20 rockets to some deserted piece of rock in Iran and then blow up some rocks. And then will they fire? Right? It's like a tit for tat thing. So the question is, do we enter, in terms of game theory, it's called tit for tat. Do we enter or escalate tit for tat? So they threw their little rockets into some area that didn't even matter. And do we now respond? And then will they respond? The question is, nobody knows at this point. And that's something I've told you people this many, many, many times. Become comfortable with uncertainty, right? That's just life skills. Just become comfortable with uncertainty because the world is uncertain. And when you become, this is why people go, I don't know. You change your opinions every day or whatever. I'll tell you, though, I say I haven't given an opinion, right? So people go, well, how can you be mad if Trump sends ground troops to Iran when you were okay with assassination? And my answer was, well, I might not have ordered the assassination myself, but I wasn't freaking out about it. And I thought that if you're going to, for the sake of unity, when Osama bin Laden was killed, this guy's killed. Doesn't mean I would have done it. It doesn't mean I know if it's the right decision. And people want certainty, even if their certainty is following a buffoon, following a fool, or even following a cult, right? Or following a script, or following a charlatan. Just give me certainty, reassure me. You have to become, I'm uncomfortable with uncertainty. What's going to happen? I don't know. But what I do know is I'll be able to figure it out as information comes in. The idea that anyone knows what's going to happen now when Iranian propaganda outlets are sharing stock footage from 2017. So Iranian propaganda outlets don't even know what happened. So they're like, ooh, cool missile photo. Cool missile photo, bro, from 2017. So they literally don't know what's happening. The propaganda outlets don't. So then how could I, or anyone, in fact, make a measured decision about what is happening? You don't. So a lot of people, that's frustrating to them, right? That's very, very frustrating to them. For me to just say, well, we'll wait and see. What's the answer right now? Don't know yet. How dare you? Got to show leadership. And by the way, this is one of the dumb things about leadership is when you're leading people, you have to be certain. But if I'm just communicating my thoughts and information, that's not leadership mode. Leadership mode, when you activate leadership mode, then you have to be certain. But I'm not in leadership mode. I'm in communication mode. I'm in let's figure things out mode. I'm in let's solve the puzzle mode. I'm not in here's a decision, we got to do it. It's do or die. Right? That's not there. And moreover, I don't have to be there right now. This is not nearly the time to be in leadership mode and say this is what we have to do. We're taking in data and we're responding accordingly. All right. A lot of big news has happened. Stay updated at cernovich.com, CERNOVICH.com. If you are on YouTube, hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, give me an emoji right now before I leave. A heart, a thumbs up, a thumbs down, an anger, a smiley face, or whatever emojis they are. And if you're on Periscope, tap the screen a few times. So to summarize, what is going on in Iran? We don't know yet. We only know that there was a missile strike that looked like it was more for show and a face-saving measure for the Iranians, but that it didn't actually have any impact. And there are so far no reported casualties, which is good news and which is, not surprising. And we also know that there's a lot of bluster now by the Iranians starting to buy. And we have reasons not to take that seriously because that would completely upend UAE, it would upend Qatar. It'd be a real problem for a lot of people. And you got to remember, Qatar and Iran are allies. Thanks for watching. Mike Cernovich, CERNOVICH.com. And for those of you who said, oh my God, you're panicking, go away.